Hey y'all, Rick Fairless, Strokers Dallas. This is the virtual tour that we're doing, and today is Friday, I'm going to take you through the service department, show you where we work on bikes, build bikes. I'm going to take you into the fab shop. I'm going to take you into Punch Wally Garage, and we'll go from there. So, when I took you yesterday or the other day through the courtyard and all that, well, that by the Grateful Dead bus. Well, all of that is this is the entrance to the service department that Josh is showing you. So, how long have we been here? Well, let's see. I got American Iron Horse, Titan, Easy Rider Service Shop, Big Dog, Victory. Yeah, we've been here a long time. Come on in. This is my little friend Debbie. She's like a daughter to me. Love you, Debbie. Hey, it's the shop. Look, it's the shop the shop dog Felicia. Hi, Felicia. She welcomes people when they come in and then bothers the heck out of them for 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the service department. I mean, the majority of our business is and always has been Harley-Davidson. I mean, that's the 800-pound gorilla in the room is Harley-Davidson. Always has been, always will be. We were a Big Dog dealer for many years, Titan dealer, American Iron Horse, Big Bear Chopper. So we still work on a lot of those bikes. You can see that we have everything from Harleys to custom bikes. This is a cool bagger that I sold recently to a guy in North Carolina that will be shipping out soon. This is a cool bagger, and I want you to see some of the work. Come around on this side, Josh. I want you to see some of the work that my painter does on this thing. This belongs to a friend of mine named Brad, and it's been a long time coming, but this is a bad boy. Can you show them kind of the top of it, Josh? Can they see that, I wonder? I mean, this shows you the caliber of work that we do here and that my painter, Gary, is capable of. And when I say Gary, I mean Mike, and I mean Tim. And I also mean Johnny and Gary's son. I mean, I've got one of the best paint shops, in my opinion. It's the best paint shop in the country doing my work, and on the motorcycle side, and they have for over 20 years. The guys are awesome. Look at the bag over here. Let me show you the bag while we're over here. So it's kind of a Day of the Dead theme to it that my buddy Brad came up with, and he's pretty much a genius. The guy's a smart guy, and he came up with that design, and my painter pulled it off. Okay, here's another bike that we are working on for a friend. This gentleman is actually one of my neighbors. Somebody else built this bike, but they built it as a display piece for their business, and he bought it, and so we've been kind of going through it and making it, where he can ride it reliably. Texas Chopper, sold 1 million of these things. Awesome bikes, can't beat them. Okay, this is something special. Get a shot of that motor. This is a V-Quad, a Harley-Davidson V-Quad. 2 80-inch Evo motors put together. This bike was my biological father's. He had 2 of them. There's 9 of these built in the world. I own 2 of them. This was in a stock FXR, so we're customizing it for me. The other one, which I'll probably show you back in the back, is in an Electroglide. So this is a pretty special motor. Like I say, there's 9 of them in the world. I own 2 of them. And this project's been setting up here for a long time. We work on it when we can, but we've been so damn busy. And now with this COVID-19 BS. It's, you know, it's thrown everything into a tailspin. But keep tabs on my Facebook page for the Harley Davidson FXR. Thank you for your order, Dave. We love people that order from us. FXR V-Quad Harley Davidson motor. It's a bad boy. I wrote it before I put it up here. Oh, by the way, these are Pat Kennedy wheels. 120 spoke. Well, Pat Kennedy hadn't made these wheels in years, and they're pretty dang cool. So these came out of my private collection because this is one of my bikes, so I decided to put them on there. Check out this three-wheeler. We got the gas tank off, putting some sealer in it. But this is a trike that we built for a friend. He owns SSI. This is a really cool motorcycle, and this was a very fun project to do. We enjoyed it a lot, and it's a very fun bike to ride. Another friend of mine, Mr. Anderson, got a 30-inch wheel on the baggers. We don't do a lot of that, but we do some. You know, if it's somebody I know and somebody I like, we'll work on their big wheel bagger. But it's not really my thing. But they're cool, and I like them, and they're functional. People think they're not functional. I have a 26-inch front wheel on two of my baggers, and ridden them all over the country. Okay, so come in here, Josh. Can you make your way through here? So this is where we build Mr. Nelson. Ryan Nelson works for me. He's my top builder. He works in here. I normally have a bike up here on the lift, but we just finished one, and we are just fixing to start another one. It's the gas tank off the trike, but you can see on the wall some of the bikes that we've done. It's unusual for it not to be a bike in this room, but next week there'll be one. Just Felicia keeping guard. I wanted to show you a cool project that we built a few years ago for a good friend and a hamster brother, Mr. Robinson. I showed you his Betty chopper the other day. Check this out, Josh. This is the Woodstock bike. To me, with this paint on here and the style, I mean, it's just as cool as you freaking get. I mean, it's just a very cool, very functional motorcycle. And we built this for Mr. Robinson. We are chroming the other exhaust tip on the other side. We're re-chroming that, and that's why it's sitting back here. But I love riding this bike. And it just kind of shows you some of the different styles that we do, whether it's a chopper or a bobber or a three-wheeler or the FXR with the V-Quad motor. I mean, we do a lot of stuff.
Taz is watching. He said, "Don't forget the detailing."
Well, I plugged you the other day. So Taz is my detailer. So he does 99% of his work for my friend Bob Lukey, the big shot, and about 1% of the work for poor old broke Dick Rick Fairless out here in Dallas. Hi, Taz. Love you. Taz is good. I mean, he's really good.
If you guys saw the Woodstock bike at the IMS show, Taz detailed and his crew detailed that before IMS. So if you saw it and it was looking good, yours could be just the same.
Yeah, no, Taz details everything. Here's one of my buddy John Shope's bikes that somebody here in DFW owns, and we're doing some work to it. It's a pretty cool little bike with a dirty tail on the rear end. Anything John Shope does is cool. John Shope has been a friend of mine and my daughter's for many years, and I like John Shope, but I love his wife, Big Mama. Hey, Big Mama, I know you missing me. I know you are. Good people there. Texas Chopper. Okay, so now I'm going to bring you back to the Fab Shop. and we're going to kind of work our way through. Follow the old man, please. Felicia, keep an eye on this place up here. Anybody comes in, sniff them for 5 minutes and come get me. So these are bikes in the service department. Here is, here's actually an Indian Larry bike that a friend of mine out of Austin owns, and we've worked on it a few times. We just put a new S&S panhead motor in it, and it's very cool. This was actually built by Bobby Seeger and the guys at Indian Larry Legacy. I'm not sure if Paul Cox and Keno were part of this build or not, but it's a great bike. We enjoy having it here and working on it. Rest of the bikes are in the service department, so we're going to go into the fab shop now. You can see Mr. Nelson is doing some welding over there. He is actually working on a 69 GTO Judge. He's doing some metal work for that. That's what he's doing today. But in this little shop and with this Bridgeport, we pretty much do anything that needs to be done. You can see we've got this is out of the Charger that we are doing some reinforcements on the dash for that, which I'm fixing to show you all that. So anything out of metal comes through this little fab shop. And we've turned out a lot of cool stuff in this little fab shop. That Bridgeport's from the 40s, I think. I've had it for years. A friend of my dad's by the name of J.J. Beaver gave me that years ago when he closed his shop. And it's been sitting right there for over 20 years.
Hey, Ryan.
So if you notice all the Motul products, Motul is here's a drum and here's a drum of oil. This is from my daughter when she was like 8. So Motul is one of our partners, and the reason we chose to partner with Motul is the best oil money can buy. Period. You cannot buy better motor oil than Motul. Can you, Dale?
Nope.
Can't do it. Dale is Felicia's dad. Felicia was looking for you.
Where's she now?
She's in the other room. So what do you? So we're working on the Charger. You're working on the '68 Charger. So that's for Jess and Heather, 2 good friends of mine. And so where are you at? I was showing them the dash.
Yeah.
What are you going to eat or talk? Let me know when you're done eating.
Well, I'm doing the dash now. I'm fixing to start on the center console.
Okay. Okay. So everything's stripped apart.
Everything's stripped down.
We got the motor, the tranny, everything. We're putting I'll tell them all that when we get over there. But everything's coming. And good. So you're working on that. You're also working on Brad's Victory over there. Good.
Yeah.
All right. We'll quit fooling around and get back to work. Thank you, Dale.
You're welcome.
So these bikes here are in the service department. They're all waiting on paint or chrome or parts or somebody to get to it or something. And I'll show you in a minute, but see all the ones covered up back there? Those all belong to my good friend Herschel Walker. And we'll work our way around there in a minute. So the cars, so this is Punchwally Garage. Oh, by the way, Motul sent me some cool display tables to set up that we'll use for people hanging out and all that. As soon as the governor opens the state back up where people can hang out. Right now there ain't no hanging out. Me and Dale and Felicia. I gotta bring Josh in to work the camera. 68 El Camino. A friend of mine bought it. We're going through it. The wiring on it was, well, you can see how the wiring on the car was. The wiring on the car was not good. So one of my mechanics is rewiring this, and I think he's pretty much done with it. It's all stripped down because we're going to send it to my painter, Mike Coy. He does my cars for me. He's going to paint this up. We put on a new Holley 650 on there. and when we're done with it, it'll be great. 49 Ford F1 pickup, got here in Dallas. Beautiful truck, as you can see. So we're doing some work with it, and trying to make it to where he can be a very cool, reliable, good-looking truck to ride, where he can take it out, you know, anytime he wants and not worry about it. 1947 Dodge Dually stake bed. The cab is at the painter. Mike has the cab. This is going to be a really beautiful truck. We had to get some new wheels. The old ones were rotted out. We got some new wheels made for this. We had the stake bed custom made by a place over in Frisco that custom makes furniture. If you need something custom made out of wood, the company is called Little Wooden Penguin, and they are two good friends of mine, Taylor and Katie Witt. And Taylor is a savant with wood. He can do anything. They're actually opening up a place in Salina. I said Frisco, I think. They're in Salina. So they're opening up a place in Salina, and they're actually going to have a little bar where you can get beer or wine and kind of hang out. It's going to be a really, really, really cool deal. Little Wooden Penguin, right there. Aztec Bolting owns this truck, and this is going to be a bad dude. This is the Time Warp, which is one of my personal choppers that we built a while back. It's really cool. We actually had this frame built. I think Redneck built the frame for me. We got the Redneck Springer front end when we did this years ago. I like how low it sets. Doesn't that look cool? So I recently sold this. My wife thinks I never sell any of my personal stuff. Well, guess what? I'm 63, and you know, none of us are going to live forever. So I'm selling a few of my personal things. Like I sold this to a friend that lives here in Dallas, and we've got to do a little work to it before he takes it. And this is going to be a really cool bike for him. Herschel Walker stuff. Here's a Honda. Herschel has a deal with Honda where they give him Honda. So this is like a 2019 Honda automatic. This thing will run till the cows come home. So we did a special Herschel Walker themed paint job on this. I mean, it's a very cool, one-of-a-kind paint job. Here's a paint job with Herschel and the president and his daughter. And Herschel rode this on the Kyle Petty charity ride last year, which I went. And this year, the Kyle Petty charity ride was canceled. For the first time in 26 years, it was canceled. These other bikes belong to Herschel too. And they're all cool. Everything Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker has, if I remember right, 60 motorcycles and 150 cars. Most of that he keeps in Georgia, where he's from, at his mom's house. He has a bunch of warehouses he keeps his cars and motorcycles in. And I can tell you that Herschel Walker and his wife, Julie, are two of the nicest people you've ever met. Herschel gives back so much to the community. He goes to a lot of military bases. He trains with the military. The guy's 57 years old, or maybe he just turned 58. And he's a freak of nature. He can lift this building. He can wipe out a small army. The guy's just a phenomenal person. Okay, come over here, Gus. So this past year, the motorcycle industry lost a great young builder and friend, Jesse Rook. So that is one of Jesse Rook's bikes that he built for a guy here in Dallas named Slappy. Yo, Slap! And you know, it's just very sad to lose such a young, smart guy like Jesse. You know, and he will be forever remembered. And I'm glad that Slappy has that bike. The guy we're doing the 47 Dodge for, this is one of his custom victories that we did a few years ago. We were doing a little work to it.
Get a shot of it. Let's see.
Isn't that cool? This orange sawtail actually belongs to Slappy 2. That was a Covington originally built that. My good buddies Jerry and Kathleen Covington out of Woodward, Oklahoma. Hey, Jose, we're wondering if you're working or what you're doing.
I just got back from lunch and
Facebook Live wants to know, what is Jose working on?
I'm working on that Corvette behind you.
Okay, the Corvette behind me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that Corvette behind me, which we'll get to, that was my Corvette. That's a 2005 Corvette, a C6. That was actually the very first C6 in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I bought it. And I had it for 11 years, and I sold it to a friend here in Dallas, and now we're working on the exhaust. A couple of vans. 1965 Ford Econoline van, customized by a guy out of, used to be California, now he's in Arizona. It's really cool. I think I'm going to sell it. It's a cool van, but I have two vans. And I like two vans, but I told you I'm not getting any younger. So you can see, and I'll open this side door. This is cool. Anybody interested in a cool van? This has got the 302 Cobra motor in it. Runs great. He's got kind of a California surfer thing. He's got a surfboard up here.
The tiki bar.
Tiki bar, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's got the 302 Cobra motor in it. Pretty cool. This van is a 1977 Dodge van. I've had it for about 10 years. I got it out of the Bay Area of San Francisco. This is a Survivor. I'm not going to sell this. I'm going to redo it. But you can see with the sculpted shag carpet and the plaid seats. I mean, this is a cool deal. He calls it, when they built it, they called it the Sea Witch. I'm going to call it the Sea Hag. So I like that. You see the Land Cruiser, 1975 Land Cruiser. I always wanted one of those Land Cruisers. Always wanted one. They say those things will climb a wall. Isn't that cool looking? Anything with that's our thing here. We work on cool stuff. I'm not working on junk, and I'm not working on anything that's not cool, and I'm not working on something where the guy just wants a Band-Aid on it. I want to work on cool stuff for cool people that don't mind paying to get it done, because I'm not cheap. I'm not the highest guy in town, but I ain't the cheapest guy in town. I'm not the most handsome guy in town. I could actually be the ugliest guy in town, but we're going to do you a good job. We're going to take care of you. This 1990 Chevy pickup truck's got a blower on it. It's a bad dude too. So we're maintaining that for, yeah, hold that. We're maintaining this for a customer. And it's a pretty cool. When this motor starts up, the whole building shakes.
All right, they've been asking about the GTO here.
1969 GTO Judge. So we are doing a complete resto mod on this. So this is I drove this car in here. The only thing we used off the original car is the body. We had the chassis custom built, the brakes, the LS3 motor, everything was custom made for this body. And this thing will be like having it'll be an old body, classic looking body on a brand new hot rod. But everything from the chassis to the dash to the console, it's just everything. So my mechanic, D, is working on it. D, where you at on it? You're almost ready for the painter, aren't you?
Almost ready, yeah.
You just pulled the body off a couple days ago.
I need to run some fuel lines and things.
Yeah. See how he's run the fuel lines along the frame rails there to keep everything clean. So we're hoping to get it to the painter ASAP next week, I hope.
This month.
This month. It's just the 3rd. Today's just the 3rd. But yeah, this is gonna be a cool deal. It's gonna be a cool deal. It's the biggest project we've done, and this is for my biggest customer and a great friend. We do a lot of work for Mr. Barnett. Awesome person and a great friend to us. 1949 ARC 48 GMC. Lady bought it because it was the same kind of truck that her dad brought her and her brother across country in the 50s, early 50s. So she bought it. We're going through it, making sure everything's cool, where she can take it out and drive it. And she lives up close to me over in Irving, and it's cool because, you know, she wants to drive this truck. And she's my age or a few years older. She wants to drive an old truck. There's the Corvette Jose's working on, my old one. C6, first one in DFW. It's really cool. I never drove it a lot. I think when I sold it to Peach, it had 29,000 miles on it. I love the car, but you know, I always drive my old pickup trucks. Which brings us to this, owned by my friends Jess and Heather. This car will be Heather's. It's a 1968 Charger, which is extremely cool. And it was a cool car when we got it. But we're putting a new Hemi in it, new transmission, new interior. Everything is going to be new on this car. We are going to paint it a purple passion for Heather. And I know Heather's watching, or I hope you are. Heather, we love you. We love your husband. Y'all are such nice people. And this is going to be a really, really, really cool car. It's going to be really cool. We got everything stripped down, and we're waiting on the motor and the tranny and some of that stuff to come in, which hopefully gets here pretty quick. And also, Heather and Jess have a 62 Nova that's badass. It's at the painter too, and Heather and Jess, almost done. I approved the paint on it the other day. I didn't want to show it to you because I want it to be a surprise. You know, we kind of talked about the colors. We got it. It looks great. And so that paint should be done anytime. So we'll have that. We'll get that thing back here, and you're going to be happy with that, and you're going to be happy with this. So that pretty much kind of shows you Punch Wally in the service department. Now the other, I guess, while I got you here, my personal warehouse. My personal warehouse is behind this wall. And I usually don't let people back there, but, you know, I mean, I get it. Y'all are sitting at home. You're worried about your job. You're worried about all that. I am too. I am too. We're all worried. You know, it sucks. But, you know, I want to show you my personal warehouse over here. Not that I have any great big secrets or any cool, you know, I just have some cool stuff, but not anything. You know, I don't have anything as cool as this 68 Charger, and I damn sure don't have anything as cool as that 69 Judge, you know. But I have some cool stuff. I'm going to take you in there. Everything's a mess. I went in there a few minutes ago and I uncovered some stuff. Normally everything's covered up and everything's on the Charger because I gotta be able to start it, you know, and let it run and all that. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so this is my personal warehouse, and I'll kind of go through some of this stuff. This car that's covered up, and I did not uncover, is my mom's Cadillac, and it's not old. It's I don't know, early 2000s, but it's my mom's Cadillac, and my brother and my two sisters and I made the decision that we ain't never selling it. That Cadillac's staying with us. This is my 1979 Trans Am 10th anniversary. I bought it for my daughter, the Rat, that works for Richard Rollins. And so at some point, this will be her car. I've had it for over 20 years. The Psychedelic Suburban, I bought that thing new in '97. I like the picture of me and my wife. You see that, Josh? So that's the kind of stuff Gary Queen does for me, you know, that my painter does for me over there. Gary and Tim and Mike Sissel are as good as you get.
Yeah, this is all paint, even on the wheels.
Yeah.
No wrap.
No wrap. A wrap's cheating. That's all airbrush. And it ain't cheap. Airbrush is not cheap. But let me ask you this. How do you get this in a wrap? You know, and I like things that are not only pictures, but they're also words. Allow me to speak a few. Lost Highway, Hank Williams. I'm a rolling stone, all alone and lost, for a life of sin, have paid the cost. When I pass by, all the people say, just a lucky chump on the lost highway. Hank Williams Sr. The cool thing about Hank Williams Sr., think about it, since we're just friends talking. Think about Hank Williams Sr., okay? He's the biggest name ever in country music. Has all those records, made all those songs, the top country music artist ever. He died at 29 years old. Look at all the stuff he did. He died at 29. I don't know about you, but a 29-year-old is a kid to me. Look at all the stuff the guy did. I mean, what an amazing talented artist he did, and he died at 29. That's crazy. Okay, Josh, you still with me?
Oh, yeah.
My 1957 Chevrolet 3100 pickup. Here's the story on that. My brother and I are 11 months apart. Our cousin Deanna, who lives in California, she's right in between us. A few months younger than me, a few months older than our brother. She's like a sister to us. And so she had this truck in California because she was born in '57, as was my brother. And she wasn't really using it much, and I always liked to drive it when I'd go to California. So she sent it down here to me, and I customized it a little, and I drive the heck out of this. So my main daily drivers are my '69 Chevy C10 and this 1957 pickup. Deanna and I took this because our kinfolks, our grandma and grandpa and them are from Oklahoma. So every year we take a trip from Dallas to Oklahoma, 800 miles round trip. Last year we took this. My wife said, there ain't no way, we call this truck Jezebel, there ain't no way Jezebel is going to make that 800-mile trip with you two in it. Not only did Jez make it, she never missed the beat. So this Mustang, 1966 Ford Mustang, here's the story. When I was 17 and my brother was 16, he was working at Minyard's. He was working the overnight shift at Minyard's, which is a grocery store there in Irving. And I had an old pickup truck about like Jezebel and a motorcycle. My brother had a motorcycle and a cool Mustang. So I had a date. I said, let me borrow the Mustang. He said, okay, but you got to bring it back, fill it up with gas, all that. I said, okay. Went out. Later on, I had a buddy with me, David Allen. We're in the Mustang. We're taking it back home. I fell asleep. Went through these people's front yard, hit a tree, slammed into two cars in their driveway, and totaled the Mustang. So for over 50 years, not 50 years, 45 years, my brother has held it against me, and I've said for 45 years, before I die, I'm going to replace the Mustang. So I bought this Mustang a few years ago, and we've been slowly going through it, and I gave it to my brother recently and said, okay, for 45 years you've been hounding me about me totaling your Mustang. Here's the replacement. It ain't ready to go yet. I still got to do some work, but I've replaced the Mustang after 45 years. This one's not as cool as his was, but it will be. I want to show you out here. So see that crane out there? That is Southwest Airlines. You can see the crane in that building that it's working on. That's from here. How far is that from here, Josh? 200 yards?
Probably, yeah, 300 maybe.
I don't even
It's
think
not
it's
far.
300.
Yeah, it's not
So
far.
from my property to there is a couple hundred yards to Southwest Airlines. So that's pretty good for my property value. It sucks for my taxes, but it's pretty cool on my property value. A couple of my shop trucks. That Chevy I've had for close to 20 years. Yeah, it's an 03. The Dodge is what we use when we use the big 40-foot trailer. The Slingshot here with the number 34 on it, that belongs to Herschel Walker. He drove it last year, him and Julie, from here to Seattle. The year before that, he drove it from here to Portland, Maine. Herschel drives that Slingshot. This Easy Rider chopper here, which is one of the coolest choppers in the country. It was built through the pages of Easy Riders magazine. I've had it for many years. I got it through my buddy Keith Ball. Bandit used to be from Easy Riders magazine. It was built by Pat Kennedy, one of the best motorcycle builders ever. And so I've got that here. This actually now belongs to my friend Richard Rawlins. So he's wanted it for years, and like I said, I'm not getting any younger. He's much younger than me. He's only 51. He's a young man. Not as handsome as me, but he's okay. So this belongs to Richard Rawlins. So I'm holding it for him. I'm saving it, and he was very cool when he bought it. He said, "We'll keep the title in my name," meaning my name. And if I ever want it back, or my kids ever want this chopper back, he'll make it available. That's pretty cool. Can you see some of these bikes? Here's a little custom Harley shovel head that's a friend of mine's that I bought, and I'm going to restore it. His name is Moose, Art Esslinger. And I've ridden beside him on that bike many times, sometimes sober, sometimes not so sober, but that was when we were young. So that's one of my projects. Here's a Viper, 152 cubic inch motor made by Ilmor, which is an IndyCar motor company. So we've robbed a few pieces off of that one. I actually have another Viper over there. I've got an X-Wedge motor, S&S X-Wedge, and a little sport bike that was built by Tim Edmondson, formerly of American Iron Horse. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You can see this fat boy is my brother's. 19. That's a Honda 754 chopper. It's a cool deal. It was a one owner. I'm going to restore that. I think it's if I remember right, it's a 70 or 69 or 71. The other one over there is it's the same thing. It's a mid 70s. I think it's a 75 Honda 754 in a bobber Amen frame with the plunger frame on it. That's pretty cool too, and I bought that from a friend of mine that's no longer with us. So I've got some cool projects that I'm working on. Here's a Big Dog. Like I said, we're a Big Dog dealer for years. This is a vintage sport, this was the last vintage sport that Big Dog made. Got it from a friend of mine out of Wichita Falls. Cool bike. This is my other Harley V-Quad. It's in that Electroglide. So it's two 80-inch motors in one case, and that's a future project. And like I say, all these are covered up. I just uncovered them for this tour. There's my other Viper over there. And I have two FXRs. This one's a shovelhead FXR in 1982, and this one I think is a 87, if I remember, but I'm not positive. I got so many bikes, I can't remember the years on some of them. And so, you know, this is kind of my personal warehouse back here. And I think, and why don't we end the video in front of Heather's 1968 Charger. I think that concludes everything. I've been getting a lot of messages and texts and emails saying that you like these videos, and I enjoy doing them. You know, especially through these times. If y'all want to show me some support, you can go to Strokers Dallas merch, merch.com. You can get the coolest, latest shirts and tie-dye koozies and baseball caps and all that stuff through there. We're open for takeout here at the bar, Strokers Ice House, 11 to 3 every day. My restaurant in Irving, and if you've never been there, it's really cool. It's called Big State, like Texas is the Big State. Big State Fountain Grill. It's been there since 1948. It was originally a drugstore. Very cool. Big State's open from 11 to 7. There and here we have delivery through Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash and some of them. So, you know, you want to show me some love. And I think I'm going to keep doing this next week. Do y'all want me to keep doing this next week? If you do, let me know. Do you like it live, or you're watching it after it's live so you don't care? You know, let me know, because we're going to, I think next week we'll kind of pull out some of my custom bikes, kind of maybe one a day, and I'll do just a 5 or 10 minute walk around talking about it, and maybe kind of what my thought process. You know, that's kind of scary to get into my brain, but I'll kind of give you my thought process on what I was thinking when we built it and we painted it and that kind of thing. Maybe one day we'll go over to the paint shop, and you can meet Gary and Mike and Johnny and Tim and all the boys over there. Ugly group of people, but of course they're not as ugly as me, but they're ugly like me. Okay, anything else, Josh? You got any questions on there?
Share, comment.
I think that's it. Okay, so I'm going to wind this up, and I'm going to come back Monday at 1 o'clock, and we'll kind of keep going and see what we can do.
Make sure you like, share, and comment. If you like the video, send it to somebody who would like it as well. You know, the more support, the more feedback we get on these videos, the better content we can give you.
Yeah.
Send in your questions. We'll make sure we address those next week. And that's all I have.
You know, maybe one day we do a deal where you know, I'm sitting with a bike or something, or a car or something, and we just go on live and we just field questions. You know, we just answer whatever questions, or maybe when I'm talking about a bike or whatever. You know, but yeah, the more support y'all can show us, the more likes and shares. You know, if you can share it on your page, you know, I mean, the intent is to entertain y'all. You know, and it entertains me too. My simple mind is entertained by working with y'all. I love this stuff, and I love you guys, and we're all in it together. It's a big blue marble, and we're all on that same big blue marble. So have a good weekend, and I love you, and I'm going to see you Monday at 1 o'clock.